Titan game day morning on this week 15 Sunday. It's not the Titan game day morning, however, even though the graphic says as much. It is Houston Oilers game day at Nissan Stadium, and they are hosting none other than the Houston Texans. So you know we're going to go through the whole routine, 3 Titans keys, 3 Oilers keys to success throughout the course of this 15-minute broadcast before I head over to Nissan Stadium and do a little Titans radio work with my dear friends and colleagues, Blaine Bishop, Mickey Ryan, and Kayla Anderson. Happy as always to have you guys in. Would be even more happy if you shared this show around. Even happier, I mean to say. Before we get started, need you to retweet it in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen if Twitter is where you're spending time with us. If you are on Facebook Live, you can share now to public. That's in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. And if you are on YouTube or on Twitch, we would be grateful if you would like the video, if you would subscribe to the channel. And if you've done both of those things, we always welcome new friends and new faces. So tell a friend to do the same. And we will continue to grow this group together. Once you've done that, we can go ahead and get it started. We're going to go ahead and get it started anyway, because I got to be at Nissan Stadium in just about 15 minutes. So let's go. Welcome into Titan game day morning on this Houston Oilers game day in week 15. I'm your host, Buck Rising, if you're new to the broadcast, and I am proud as always to be presented to you by these wonderful people that you see below my face. That's Two Rivers Ford, powered by Ford, driven by people, quality American-made Ford vehicles, and award-winning customer service, tworiversford.com. The Ashton Real Estate Group of RE/MAX Advantage. Get the intel edge you need to succeed. Don't sell your home without the intel that you need and that you can only find at the Gary Ashton Real Estate Group of RE/MAX Advantage, GaryAshton.com for more information. And Zen Sports. Don't wager anywhere else this football Sunday, whether it was the football Saturday yesterday, whether it's football Sunday today, hockey, basketball, whatever you want. Zen Sports with promo code ATOZTN. You see it over my left shoulder there. Will get you up to $1,000 on your no danger first wager. And a little bit of cat hair, it looks like, on the camera. Too many of them running around in here. Anyway, we got football to talk about, and this is a huge opportunity. 3 keys to success. I'm going to give you 3. You only have to give me 1. We'll keep it simple this morning on the broadcast. And I was looking through some of my notes today and looking through some of the notes that our good friend Rhett Bryan, the executive producer of Titans Radio, who is the game day host as well and who does the pregame hit one, does all of the things for Titans Radio, but who Jimmy Wyatt and I do our Titans Insiders hit with about 15 minutes before kickoff, which you can also hear on Titans Radio today. And Rhett had included it in our pregame notes about the need to build positive momentum, stacking wins, as a matter of fact, and how hard that has been for this team to do. In fact, they haven't done it in quite some time, not since they beat the Denver Broncos and then turned around, went on the road and beat the Green Bay Packers on Thursday Night Football. Has this football team won back-to-back games? So since we've already checked one thing off the boogeyman list, which is winning on the road, they did it in spectacular fashion on Monday night. But make no mistake about it, this team still has flaws. This team needs to protect itself from itself, and stacking wins today against just an absolutely mangled Houston Texans roster, at least game day roster, that they'll be trotting out here, is going to be critical to how we talk about this team, how we perceive this team, and basically their level of ability to respond to something like this, because this is an infinitely winnable game, which of course, as Titans fans sitting on the edge of their seat, white knuckling it, right? You're a little stressed about the idea of a layup opportunity that this should be. But of course, the Miami Dolphins thought you were a layup opportunity on Monday night, and you played spoiler for them. Now, it's not like there's much about the Titan season that needs spoiling, because at 5-8, even to win out, you would still need a million different things to happen to make the postseason as a wild card. And certainly the Colts beating the Steelers last night does not help your cause. But you can play spoiler to the Houston Texans, who are still also striving for a playoff position. And given that the Colts have drawn within just 1 game of the Jaguars, in fact, they're even with the Jaguars, having only 1 more loss than the Jags do. And the Jags, of course, will play the Baltimore Ravens today. Massive game with massive implications in the AFC. stacking wins together would be a big step for you. Baby steps is all we're talking about. So your first key to success, or your biggest key to success for the Titans to beat the Texans today, I will give you my first two right after I remind you that the Titan Game Day Morning Show is made possible by Two Rivers Ford, powered by Ford, driven by people, quality American-made Ford vehicles, award-winning customer service. Why would you go anywhere else but the dealership that DeAndre Hopkins shops at, that Coach Max shops at, that Ramon Foster, Don Davenport, and myself also got my Ford Explorer from Two Rivers Ford. You can get your vehicle of your dreams at Two Rivers Ford in Mount Juliet or online at tworiversford.com. So the biggest key to success to try and stack wins today is Will Levis continuing to build on what he was able to accomplish in Miami. Here's what we learned about Will Levis. He damn near lost you that game, and then he turned around and won it in Miami in pretty spectacular fashion. Now, it also took an exceptional performance by the defense. That cannot be discounted. There were gaffes that were not just on the offense. Eric Garror obviously contributing to that, and special teams will need to have it more buttoned up, certainly after that it was a catastrophe, and then it was a catastrophe that was ultimately avoided because, as Mike Vrabel said in his post-game victory speech, I saw that was making the rounds, they snatched victory from the jaws of defeat. How Will Levis responds today is always going to be a big part of the conversation, but the rookie had a lot of different adversity that he had to overcome against the Dolphins and did so in stride. He's starting to continue to grow, to build himself up within this offense, within this league, and establish himself as somebody who absolutely belongs. While he's not established by any stretch of the imagination just yet, he's just starting to fortify the feelings that the front office had when they drafted him about what this player could be for the future of the franchise, and how Titans fans feel about him as he continues to earn his starting role beyond 2023. So Will Levis, critical to all of these things, but certainly to have DeAndre Hopkins there to support him, where he's saying, all right, no more rookie mistakes. We're past that. We've had a couple of games to gel a little bit. Now the standard has been elevated, and that was something that, Hop spoke about this week in talking to him in the locker room, and certainly he had a lot to say about how much he believes in Will Levis and how much he loves going to battle with Will Levis when Cam Wolfe of the NFL Network spoke with him post-game.
DeAndre, Jeffrey Simmons just came over and said, come on and take over their trap. All the talk coming into this game was about the Dolphins. What did you guys show in that fourth quarter coming back and taking this victory?
We showed resiliency. We showed that we wanted to win. No matter what our records say, we're going to compete. We're going to go out there and play hard. And, you've seen that today. We had a turnover on the punt return. We didn't let that phase us, man. Went out there and kept competing.
For yourself, 124 yards, a touchdown.
124? No,
yeah.
140 something.
you maybe.
You were broadcasting.
I saw 124, but maybe. You're playing against two top corners in Jalen Ramsey and Xavier Howard, but you came up on top on this day. What does that feel like for you?
Man, it feels great, especially all the people that didn't want me, all the teams that, wrote me off, said I wasn't no good, said I can't go out there and get open, can't compete. It feels good, man. I play with a chip on my shoulder, especially when this all season, it seemed like everybody said F you,
Yeah, absolutely.
So it feels good to be able to show that I still got it. To me, I feel like I'm getting better, man.
If that's what they told you this offseason, what did you tell them today?
Hey, man, God got the last say, love all, serve all. That's my motto.
Last one, your quarterback, Will Levis, is a rookie, but what did you see in him, and especially in that fourth quarter as he's leading you guys for the comeback?
I saw a dog out here today. That kid is going to be great, man. I'm always in his ear trying to help him, read defenses and be better. I know he still got a lot in his tank. I know he can improve, even though, he came out here and beat these guys today, but I'm going to still be on the Monday when we go back and let him know that there are certain things that he can improve on. But, man, Will show heart. Man, I love competing and playing with him.
Appreciate you, DeAndre. Enjoy this one, my man. Absolutely. Sure.
That is DeAndre Hopkins speaking with Cam Wolfe of the NFL Network after the Monday Night Football win. Titan Game Day Morning made possible by the Ashton Real Estate Group of RE/MAX Advantage. Go to GaryAshton.com. Get your dream address without the stress, and don't sell without the intel that you know that the Ashton team can provide to you. Nobody goes above and beyond for you throughout the course of the home buying process or the home selling process the way that the Ashton team can. They're the team that your favorite teams trust. The official real estate group of the Nashville Predators is GaryAshton.com. So, key to success, obviously, Will Levis, Hopkins continuing to grow together. Will Levis continuing to grow just within his position as the starting quarterback this year. Then there's the defensive line situation. So T.R. Tart officially waived yesterday. Kaharski reported that first on Friday, that basically he's been a pill in the locker room. He's got a contract situation that he wants to make sure that everybody's very much aware about. And, Mike Vrabel just wasn't willing to put up with shit anymore. Now, a conversation was had collectively before the decision was made, and T.R. Tart is a good player. Ben Jones has told us on the radio show, former Titan center Ben Jones, that T.R. Tart is the best two-down player in football, right? But if he's not got the right attitude and he's not willing to put in the work to earn that contract, because he's probably not earning that contract here, they just didn't seem willing to put up with his time. They didn't like his effort in Miami. And now, though, they will be without Kyle Pecco, T.R. Tart, and Jeff Simmons. They've called up a couple of players from the practice squad ahead of today's game. Marlon Davidson, former Alabama defensive lineman, will be up again today for this game. And it's going to take a lot of, while it is Case Keenum, right? C.J. Stroud not starting. Case Keenum made the quarterback because they're banking on experience as opposed to Davis Mills as they try to make a playoff push here. The Colts kind of boxing them out right now. And, of course, the Jags still in the division lead, though that can change over the course of the next couple of weeks. They need a strong defensive performance. And this is coming off the best defensive performance that this group has had all year. Now, while Tart did play in this game and Pecco did play a couple of snaps before getting ruled out for the year with a calf injury, if my memory serves correctly, Greg Cosell was glowing with his praise for Shane Bowen and the work that the Titans defensive coaching staff did. So red zone defense in particular, they were 2 of 5, or at least Miami was 2 of 5 against the Titans red zone defense. And that was only because the Titans literally dropped it in their lap twice inside the 10 with the Guerra fumble, with the Levis fumble that allowed them to score those 2 touchdowns. Otherwise, they would have been over in the red zone in all likelihood because of the work that defense did. Shane Bowen, Greg Cosell called it his finest hour in this week's episode of The Install, which is available to you wherever you get your podcasts and also on the 104.5 The Zone YouTube channel.
Yeah, well, we have to talk about their defensive approach because we probably spoke last week about the way to play this offense and the fact that it was more about coverage than pressure. Now, they ended up with pressure, but their game plan approach, this to me was one of Bowen's finest hours, okay? What they did is a lot of disguise, a lot of late rotation. You're trying to create a moment of doubt in Tagovailoa, slow down his precise timing on his first window throws. They did that quite a bit. Now, we can sit here and say Tyreek Hill missed a chunk of the game. You know what? That's football. He missed a chunk of the game. They also didn't play with Jeff Simmons. So, I mean, you can get into that conversation all day long. But their basic approach was to defend the Dolphins' passing game first. They played out of nickel on almost every snap except for maybe 9 or 10, and those were specific situation snaps. So they pretty much said that, McCreary, depending on the offensive formation, McCreary, the slot corner, he'll be in the box. And you know what? If you want to run the ball, that's okay. And there were a couple of times he got eaten alive just because, he's a small guy. But they pretty much said, you know what? We're going to stop the pass. We're gonna do disguise. We're gonna rotate. That's what we're gonna do, and we're gonna rush with 4. It was high percentage 4-man D-line pass rush with zone coverage concepts behind it. They only rushed 5 on 5 of Tagovailoa's 41 dropbacks. So they took what I view, based on speaking with other coaches as well, what is the absolute right approach to play the Dolphins offense, and it worked out perfectly. And there, without going into the weeds and talking about specific plays because people can't see them,
right,
there were plays that were really good examples of how they took away those quick timing throws between the numbers that Tua likes to throw, and then were able to get pressure with their down 4. That's the way you have to play them. They did a great job. I thought Bowen, like I said, it was his finest hour.
So that's Greg Cosell of NFL Films. Go check out The Install wherever it is that you get your podcast. So Levis's continued improvement, the red zone defense continuing to play in stride, a good trend that they need to continue. And then specialists, right? Mason Kinsey was called up to the active roster. Ty Zentner, the punter, how they manage things today. Of course, Eric Gare have to play a clean game on special teams. Can't have it cost you the way that it nearly did. And, you know, you had to be a plus, right? You blocked a field goal, you turned around and muffed a punt. So got to find a way to at least draw even on those kind of mistakes to try and avoid as many pitfalls as humanly possible. We'll wrap things up with a Zen Sports best bet. It's made possible, of course, by Zen Sports. Download the Zen Sports app, plug in the promo code ATOZTN, and get up to $1,000 on your no danger first wager. Zen Sports is the place that you go, and they offer you this week a great bet. Excuse me. Terms and conditions do apply. Must be 21 or up in Tennessee to bet. Gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line 1-800-889-9789. We'll leave you with this. Levis's over-under touchdown passes for today, 1.5 in the Zen Sports app. Can Levis stay hot against Houston? We will see whether that is the case or not. It is currently plus 160 if you would like to take the over on Levis touchdown passes. How many games has he thrown 2 touchdowns in, right? Atlanta, obviously the opener. Or not the opener, but his first start. He threw 2 garbage time touchdowns against the Jags. Are those the only 2 touchdown games that Will Levis has had on the year? I want to say so. I'm going to take a quick look at his Pro Football Reference to make sure that I'm not missing anything. I don't want to shortchange him. But yeah, 1 touchdown. Excuse me, I hit my microphone. 1 touchdown, 1 pick against Miami. 1 touchdown passing against the Colts. And then, 2 garbage time touchdowns in Jacksonville. So I would probably bet the under on that, given that that would be the anomaly. But we'll see if there's not strides to be made here. Every group on that side of the ball has been making incremental improvements by nature of that quarterback starting to improve within their system. So that's going to do it for us on the Titan Game Day morning. If you didn't get enough Titans pregame coverage, don't worry. I got you. I'll be on Titans Radio from 9 to 11, and then again at 11:45. With Jim Wyatt in the booth, with Coach Mack, with Mike Keith, with Brett Bryan, with Phil Noel, with Ramon Foster, with Lucas Panzica, who's hanging around in there doing scoreboard updates, the whole crew. But 9 to 11 with Blaine Bishop, Mickey Ryan, and Kayla Anderson on the Lee Company Countdown to Kickoff. And then in the booth with Wyatt at 11:45, just 15 minutes before kick at Nissan Stadium. Have a great time. Weather's supposed to hold off, so it looks like it's going to be a cooler day, but not a cold day by any stretch of the imagination, and no precipitation, which sounds chef's kiss. Have fun, and I will probably see a great many of you at Nissan.